Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Focus Vandalia. My name is Rich Hopkins. I'm the communications manager for the city. And on today's program, we've got some exciting economic development news to share with you. There's new construction going on here in town. We've also got the latest on a water main replacement project that's going to be happening very near the city's downtown. But our first stop today is here at Vandalia Fire Station number 1. Now, as you can see, things look pretty quiet right now. But come the first part of October, this place will be hopping as the Division of Fire has its open house for 2017. The Vandalia Division of Fire will be rolling out the red carpet for Vandalia citizens who want to get an inside look at the division's equipment and personnel, with an overall theme of knowing 2 ways out of a burning room or home.
It's our reoccurring theme of really having an escape route for your home, knowing 2 ways out of your home, having your kids practice those drills and knowing if the hallway is blocked, how do they get out the window, especially if they have a specific logistical challenge like a second floor or a basement window or something like that. So there are some things that you need to review with your family. So any of that information can be obtained from our website or the National Fire Protection Association's website.
Vandalia Fire Chief Chad Follick says that beyond the static equipment on display, visitors will have the chance to check out some interesting equipment demonstrations.
We'll have all this typical demonstrations and get an opportunity to see new equipment, new rescue company. The new rescue engine that's been rolled out recently. Hopefully by then we'll have another new medic in service for you to look at. Plus we'll have all kinds of handout material and demonstrations, and then any questions and answers that might be need to get there, we can do that with fire prevention or somebody on staff.
The open house gets started at 12 noon with the event wrapping up by 2 p.m.
It's always well attended for us. We try to mix it up every year and do something different. We've tried to, we're planning in the planning stages right now, so we're trying some different things this year, hopefully, and we can get, we typically have between 300 and 400 people come through. If we can get that many people, that'd be great.
Follick says if you know someone interested in learning about fire service at a young age, they should consider joining up with the Explorers Post.
Yeah, we have a really great program here for high school age kids. I say high school age kids. Our Explorers program runs 14 to 18, young adults that are 14 to 18. We have a program where you can come. It's a branch of the Boy Scouts of America. It's an Explorers program. So they do have regulations for us to meet application-wise, but we have never had any issues with that. It's a simple application process. We'll sit down and discuss what the post does, and the young adults that are in the post get assigned out to shifts, and they get to actually ride along with shifts on actual calls, spend the day in the firehouse doing things that the fire service guys do, train. Educational opportunities that come through for them, so they get to do the same training that our guys do.
Follick says those who get bitten by the fire service bug can use their Explorer experience as a springboard into a full-blown career.
This Explorers Post has been around for 30 years, 30 plus years, and we've produced a lot of career firefighters from that, including myself. So we take a great deal of pride in people that want to serve their community. And we had this recent group who graduated in May from high school. We hired four of our explorers from there, so they currently work for us. And they're out looking, taking additional training, going to college, doing things. But this is a good part-time job for them to get to do something they want to do as a career, and as they look for career opportunities. We've been a good training ground for them.
One last note from the Division of Fire. Recently, a vendor went door to door in town selling curb painting services as a way to make your home address more visible. Chief Follick says if you're considering this, don't waste your money.
Curbs are not really good locations for your street address. Street address prominently located on the front of the house, near the front door. In Vandalia, traditionally, we get them next to the front door, next to the mailbox, on the mailbox at the curb. Over the garage door are kind of the 3 prime locations for us to look for addresses. If you go out in the apparatus room right now and look at the apparatus that's sitting out there, it all sits up very high. They do not look down at the curb for an address. Typically when you turn, you want to be able to look at eye level and find addresses. Our spotlights on our apparatus do not shine down at that angle. We have to put a spotlight on the house to find an address. We would tell you that it's not a, if you want to expend the money to put an address on the front of your house, go to Ace, go to Lowe's, go to Menards, and buy yourself some of the cheap brass numbers and locate them near the front door, over the garage door, on the mailbox, someplace that we can see it from at the front of the house, basically at eye level or above.
Now to a subject we'll be talking about quite a bit over the next several months, a top-to-bottom rewrite of Vandalia zoning codes.
We have hired a consultant, Compass Point Planning, to assist us in rewriting our planning and zoning code, which is a whole look and total rewrite of this section. It's going to be a pretty lengthy process, but in the end it will yield a great result, we believe.
City Planner Amber Holloway will be the city staffer most involved with this project, which she says is long overdue.
The zoning code now is pretty out of date, so we wrote it once and we've piecemealed it together with updates since. We have a lot of out-of-date uses, some inconsistencies in processes. The idea is really to clean it up and make it easier for residents and businesses to get through our processes, as well as updating those uses so that we have those current with the types of uses that are today, including home occupations and things of that nature.
Holloway says we'll all benefit from a more user-friendly zoning code.
The idea is to make it easier for any person to read through the zoning code and understand what the regulations are. And with respect to businesses, the idea is that we'll clean up and condense the processes that businesses have to go through to make changes to their property to make it a little bit easier for them to do so.
The plan calls for a citizen steering committee to work through the process with plenty of chances for citizen involvement.
We are currently in the process, currently undergoing an analysis of the zoning code. Very shortly, the steering committee will start reviewing some of these proposed changes before they ultimately go to Planning Commission and Council for review. During this process, there will be public participation meetings where we will invite the public in to hear some of these proposed changes and go through them with us, and you'll be able to provide your feedback. The public can keep up with our zoning process at vandaliazoning.com. And also check the newspaper because we'll be advertising for those public meetings.
And while this project paves the way towards easier to use zoning codes, another project should help with more reliable water delivery as a major water main replacement project begins this month.
Very soon out here on Kenbrook Drive, you're going to see the construction equipment and some orange barrels roll in. We have scheduled to do a water main replacement here on the section of Kenbrook Drive that goes between Dixie Drive and Ranch View Avenue. The water main in this area is over 60 years old. We've had several water main breaks that we've had to repair. You can see behind me here where we've patched the street in one location where we've repaired the main. So it's in much need of a replacement.
Director of Public Service Rob Cron says the scale of the project is fairly large.
It's a pretty good sized project. We're replacing about 2,000 feet of the water main here, and also along with the project we're going to replace some of the bad curbs that have deteriorated over the years, some of the drive approaches that have gotten in bad shape, and then when the project's all done we're going to resurface the street as well.
One nice thing about this planned replacement is the bill that it comes with, as the state of Ohio will be paying a good portion of these costs.
We've actually been very fortunate on this project. We applied for a grant last year through the Ohio Public Works Commission, and we've received some outside funding for this. The total estimate for the project was about $400,000, and we're going to receive $100,000 in a grant from the Ohio Public Works Commission, and then we're also getting a loan from them for another $100,000 that will be paid back at a 0% interest over a 5-year period.
The timetable for this project begins in the next few weeks, with an overall completion date possibly stretching into next year.
They're going to get in here hopefully sometime in September and get started on this work. We've had to back this project, not really back the project up, but we scheduled it later because of the funding we received. That money is not available till the second half of the year. So that's why we're starting this project in the fall. So they hope to get as much of the work done this year as they can. The contract date for the project is actually next June, but we hope to get the majority of the work done this year, and you might see the final restoration and the actual paving done next year.
Our next stop today is at the former Morton Middle School site, a location we're now calling 40 West. As you can see, construction on this Pri-Med medical office is nearing completion, with plans for the building to be occupied possibly by the end of the year. Assistant City Manager Greg Shackelford says that local dentist Dr. Thomas Volk is next in line to build out here.
He is just getting through his referendum period where he's going to actually be able to break ground. We're still waiting for him to have his plans submitted, and then he's going to be looking at a facility right behind us as well. So very exciting.
Renovations, meanwhile, are close to wrapping up here on Poe Avenue, where the Moraine-based Cables to Go company is getting closer to moving an operation into Vandalia.
They're going to call it Ortronics is the division that it's going to actually be called, but that's going to be around 100 to 120 employees that will transition here as soon as it opens. And the great news, I had heard from the broker that they are anticipating December as an open date. And I talked with our chief building official, and they had submitted some plans recently. So those are all good signs and getting the arrow pointing upward.
Shackelford is hoping for a thumbs up from Montgomery County this fall as another exciting economic development project that could bring some new jobs to Vandalia.
The EDGE program for the fall, usually towards the end of August, we will get the application packet, and I'm definitely going to have one project that we'll submit for a potential EDGE grant. That's an advanced manufacturing company. It's got a project named MASK. At this point, I'm not going to disclose who it is, but it would be 25 pretty high-paying jobs that would be over the next 3-year period for an existing Vandalia company, which just strengthens their position that they're in already.
We have some good news to report this month that should bring a smile to those who like free things. A couple of programs in September that come with a $0.00 price tag. Recreation Supervisor Brittany Oliver says her office is tying up all the loose ends towards the annual Touch-A-Truck event.
This is our 6th annual Touch-A-Truck. It'll be Saturday, September 16th from 9 a.m. to 12. You can come anytime. We'll have all the trucks out there, FedEx, Waste Management, RTA, school bus, all kinds of things.
And how about an entire week of free classes? That's what's scheduled for late September as the Vandalia Recreation Center celebrates National Yoga Month.
Every year we like to celebrate National Yoga Month at the VRC. So the last week of September we are offering free yoga classes to anybody to celebrate National Yoga Month.
Recreation Supervisor Sarah Levy says there's some very good reasons to try yoga.
Yoga is excellent for any fitness levels. Anyone can do yoga. It's great for mind and body. I recommend anyone try it. And this is a perfect week to try it. It's free, open to anyone 15 years and up. Just show up, grab a numbered ticket, and you can take a yoga class.
Our last stop of the day is here at the Vandalia Senior Citizen Center, where it's full speed ahead towards the center's annual Fall Bazaar.
We're in full swing getting ready for our famous yearly annual bazaar, always on the first Saturday, this year October 7th. So mark your calendars now. It is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have Trash and Treasure, books, quilts, jigsaw puzzles, floral, tons of raffle baskets, candy, baked goods, lunch, and cabbage rolls for sale to go out the door. So you definitely want to mark that day. Usually have about 450 people that show up, so you want to be one of them.
Coordinator Tony Williams says there's an opportunity for you to help make the bazaar a success by donating items for the bazaar's Trash and Treasure flea market.
Bring me your Trash and Treasure donations between Monday, September 25th and Thursday, October 5th. Please, no large items and no clothes.
One of the big draws of the bazaar are the homemade cabbage rolls that seem to sell out every year. Williams says you can guarantee yourself a share of the cabbage rolls by participating in the pre-sale.
Also, we're doing a cabbage roll pre-sale. So if you think you can't make it to the bazaar, but you'd like some cabbage rolls, you can come in and pre-order those. They're $4.25 each. You can do that from Monday, September 11th through Wednesday, October 4th.
September should be a pretty busy month at the Senior Center with a couple of very interesting lunch and learn events.
We have a couple lunch and learns that are open to the public. The company Thrivent, which is a not-for-profit financial company, is having a lunch and learn on Tuesday, September 19th at noon. Kevin Larger will be talking about how you can keep your kids from paying your final expenses and other similar topics. It's limited to 50 people. We also have another Lunch and Learn by Sensible Hearing Solutions, which will be on Friday, September 22nd at noon. Kayla Diskovich, which is a doctor of audiology, will be talking about hearing loss and hearing aids and ways that hearing loss will affect you that you don't realize.
Vandalia's Division of Fire will also hold a free informational program in September that will give you an idea of what it feels like to be a firefighter.
On Thursday, September 14th, Kim Hanahan with the Vandalia Fire Department is inviting people to register here first, but meet her at Fire Station number 3. That's at 251 North Dixie Drive at 10 o'clock. By then, she should have the Feel the Burn kit. She'll give you a safety lesson, and then you're permitted to dress as the firefighters dress and very safely feel the burn that they feel.
One last note from the Senior Center. The Floral Group is working hard to fill orders for its very popular Christmas item sale.
Our Floral Group is still taking orders for arrangements for fall and for Christmas, and they also make saddles and the in-the-ground arrangements for out at the cemetery. They need your orders by November 15th. They can't take orders after that time or they won't be able to get them all done.
If any of the programs we talked about here at the Senior Center interest you, you've got a couple of ways you can make contact with the center and sign up. One is to pick up the telephone, 898-1232. You can also send Tony Williams an email online. That email address, twilliams@vandaliaohio.org. That's going to do it for this edition of Focus Vandalia. I'm Rich Hopkins. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.